Hi, this is Cassie Moore. I'm doing a review on Event Horizon, and this is 12/26/2025 on Friday. And the movie came out in 1997. I don't like this movie that much because they dropped the ball and they could have made something so much better out of it, but they did have some good parts, but at the same time, they went too slasher on it. So, anyway, here we go. One of the main characters was the captain, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and he played Captain Miller, the reluctant captain that tries to get his crew home safe. Um, they go investigate a starship that reappears around Jupiter, I think, and he tries his best to protect his crew from the oncoming onslaught. And he tries to hold them together, and the doctor the doctor of the group is played by Sam Neill as Dr. William Weir. He's the creator of the massive hyperdrive like device that was supposed to make space travel a lot cheaper and a lot more possible and easier. And it was supposed to create a point of folding space on each other to where you can get far distances a lot faster. And it goes horribly wrong, and it takes the event horizon to somewhere completely different, into a hellscape universe, and creates the ship to become alive as an alive entity, which gives the ship a whole new personality, an actual personality of malevolence and evil. The ship itself becomes this living entity that causes havoc and malice, creating the event of the movie of killing off the crew that comes to investigate and kills off Captain Miller's crew. Oh, it was depressing. And Dr. Weir devolves into the hellish madness of that device itself that he created, spurred on by his wife's late death and how she died, made him a broken man. His guilt pushed him even further because he felt guilty for her death because of how she died and how she unalived herself. And he went into a self-imposed madness. And Dr. Weir was the first victim of the ship. And it claimed him and drove him insane and caused him to become the first living hell being on the event horizon. And helped the ship, worked with the living ship to kill off the rest of the crew, or most of them except for a couple, which is a whole nother scary thought. Yeah, the movie goes into slasher horror movie genre. It could have been a lot more creepier and scarier if they'd put more of a psychological factor into it as well. They could have put some psychological thriller in there and went even deeper into the character of the ship and how the ship itself had developed a consciousness, and went into the loss of the crew and how the crew's loss and trauma fed the ship, and how the ship fed on their fear from it, and how the ship read the crew's minds and took their trauma and flashpoints and allowed the ship to feed even further by feeding on the crew and killing them one by one, except for like I think a couple people, which was even scarier. I do like the part and the idea about the ship, of course, becoming an alive, conscious being, one that becomes truly evil and has been to a hell universe, and of course, the ship itself becomes the evil entity unto itself and comes back to haunt the known universe that we are in. That part was well written and should have been explored even further, of course. I think there was a missed opportunity there, and have the ship's drive create rifts in space and time and altered reality even further. Do more of a altered reality type version. That would have been interesting to watch, maybe as a sequel, but that didn't happen. It was probably for the best. The science of the drive. Just because we can do something, that doesn't mean we should, or in this case, Just because we can create something with technology, does that mean we should? Should scientists be manipulating technology and biomechanics for its benefit, like creating the massive cryo freezers that froze the crew to get to where they were going, and manipulating the drive to open rifts in space, which caused the ship to go into a hell universe? Should they have been doing that? In conclusion, the telling of what happens when humans cross the Rubicon and encounter the Hell Dimension will always create lasting trauma, and also create trauma that will never leave you. It reveals the hopeless nature of the human beings in their conditional sin and fallen state. Believing in a higher power can help people come out of that, give them something to focus on other than their perceived faults, their perceived traumas, their perceived hatred for one another and themselves. Having faith outside themselves into a higher power can give them hope that lasts more than just what they can do for themselves and others. Well, that's all I got now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and listening.